Okay, getting ready to play Arkansas. 7-1, 7-1, just like us. They're the best passing team in the conference, no question about it. Lead the conference pass offense about every year. Bobby Petrino has done an excellent job there at Arkansas. As you know, they went to the Sugar Bowl last year and came very close to winning it, but they have a knack of winning. They haven't played extremely well the last couple of games, but they have found a way to win them. So obviously, they know something about how to win games at Arkansas, and they've beaten us pretty good the last couple of times, especially last year. In fact, I remember we took about 2 days off just to watch Arkansas play offense and defense. They played that well. The team this year they have is a bit different. They've had some injuries, and they had some seniors on the team last year. So it's a different team, different quarterback. They got 3 wide receivers that are really good, and tight end that's really good. And they've all, so they spread the ball around, and they've all got a bunch of yards and touchdowns. I think they've got 3 kick returns for touchdowns this year also, and their defense scores. So they've found a way to win some games where maybe they gave up some yards and some points and this, that, and the other. But you got to admire the way they play. So it'll be a big challenge for us. We know what's online, and it is sort of fun to know there's no room for error. If we're going to win the East, we're not going to back into it. We got to go play ball. So we're looking forward to the game out there. I think most everybody's healthy that played last week. So we're in position to play as well as we can. Okay.
Steve, like you mentioned, they have a very strong passing team, but you guys have been playing very well on pass defense. You got 60 interceptions. How much confidence do you think that gives the secondary to be playing that well going against a passing team?
Well, hopefully we will play well, and we must to have a chance to beat Arkansas. But, yeah, our guys have really improved on pass defense. There's no question about that. We're right there with Alabama as the best pass defense in the conference. I think 1 yard separates us, or half a yard or 2. So we'll certainly be challenged, and we got to get a pass rush going also. We got to get Melvin and Clowney and Devin and the guys really getting pressure on the quarterback. That'll be a must for us this week. And hopefully we can throw the ball around a little bit better. That would be helpful if we can, but if we can't, we have run the ball pretty well. You know, we're second to Alabama in rush offense, which is a pretty good stat to have. I think it's better to be second probably in rush than pass, because if you can run the ball and play defense the way we've done lately, you'll have a chance to win some low-scoring games, and that's what's happened for us.
Steve, kind of following up there. Last year, the secondary really struggled at times. Since the Georgia game this year, they've played really well. What do you think the difference is that they're doing differently, doing better?
I think we've simplified a lot of our coverage to where we don't have all that many, and there's fewer mistakes. And I think that's a big part of it. And just the guys playing hard, playing their assignments, playing with effort, and getting a pretty consistent rush has been helpful. But we got good athletes, and when they know what to do and they're in position, I think that's I know that's really helped us this year compared to what we did last year. We've just sort of simplified, and I think it's really helped.
Coach, in replacing Marcus, how encouraged are you by Brandon's both running and receiving in that game?
Yeah, Brandon did a lot of good things in that Tennessee game, and some things happened that hopefully he can learn from also. Going out for passes a couple times, he sort of left Connor, and Connor thought he was going to hook up right there, and he sort of drifted on him a couple of times. So we believe he can be better in certain areas, but he's a natural runner. Brandon is an excellent runner with the ball, got good body lean, shakes some guys off, gets his pads down. He's a very good back, and he was able to show it last week, and hopefully we can make a bunch of yards. Again, we're not a great passing team, so we better run successfully.
You often talk about achieving things for the first time. This team now has a chance to win 6 conference games for the first time since they joined the SEC. How important is that to show that this program is making progress?
We got a chance at a lot of first-time things, you know. A lot of them are, somebody told me our senior class won more games than any 4-year period with last week's win, so they can increase that one. Road wins, I think we can increase that record a little bit. SEC games or what have you. But really, the only thing you concentrate on is playing the game, trying to play our assignments. And the biggest goal is trying to win the East. And to do that, we probably need to win the last 2 games. We all know that. So one game at a time. And this week it's Arkansas. Let's go see if we can play better than we did last week. Hopefully we won't have as crucial turnovers as we had last week. We escaped danger because our defensive guys really played super down there in the red zone. Really good red zone defense. Tennessee was down there twice and got 3 points. And well, we dropped a punt and we had an interception that went down there. And they only came away with 3. And then we had another fumble on about the 24 or 5, and they didn't get anything out of that either. So if we can play red zone defense like we're playing, that certainly gives us an excellent chance.
Steve, before the season, you talked about how much you were looking forward to calling plays for this team. That was before you went from a 5th-year senior quarterback to a sophomore, and you lost Marcus. Now, is it just, how challenging is it now?
How challenging is it?
Yes.
Well, I'm also the head coach, you know. When you're the offensive coordinator, sometimes you worry about how many yards you make and how many points you score and all that. But when you're the head coach, you worry about the wins and the losses. So obviously we're going to do what it takes, we think, the best way to win the game. And if that's putting it on the ground and running 20 plays, then that's not a bad way to have to do it. But hopefully we can throw the ball around better. But it is frustrating when you got to play, you got the right defense, and there goes a guy, looks like he's open, whoop. Quarterback got hit, oops, he didn't throw it, oops. And it is frustrating, but it is what it is, and if we need to give some of our linemen a little help, we need to do that. And we planned on it, but a few times, one of our guys was left on his own and sort of got beat in pass rush, and sometimes that happens.
Steve, talk a little bit about Tyler Wilson, how he compares to Ryan Mallett, and then best quarterback you've faced thus far this season, do you think?
No, I really don't watch the other team's offense that much. Try to watch the defense and see if we can find some ball plays to hit here and there. But obviously his statistics are very good. Watched him against Vanderbilt, and he stays in there and makes the throws. He got hit a bunch of times. So he's a tough kid. He plays with courage back there, and he'll stay in the pocket and make the throws. So I admire the way he plays, certainly.
Steve, can you update us on what's going on with Marcus, his rehab, his surgery schedule, and is he going to go to Arkansas?
I don't know that the date has been set exactly for his surgery. I think Matt Coffey's having surgery this week, within a day or two, I believe. But Marcus, probably sometime next week. Yeah, if he'd like to go, he's going with us. It was good to have him with us last week, and if he wants to go, certainly we got room for him.
Last year there wasn't a sense of urgency when you played Arkansas because you knew the Florida game would determine everything. Do you think that played into the way the team played that game, and do you expect more of a sense of urgency with the situation this year?
No, I didn't play into it. We just got beat. We just got soundly beat. They played extremely well. We didn't play our best, but I mean, they blocked and tackled us, covered. And, they had a good game plan, and they just beat us. They just beat us soundly. We have no excuses about that.
Coach, do you see any similarities in Arkansas? I mean, they have, as you mentioned, suffered some injury to some key players on their team. They really are in a must-win situation, just like you guys are, if they want to have any hope in the division.
Oh yeah, they're still alive for their division. They got to hope that LSU beats Alabama, then they beat us and they beat LSU. That would put a three-way tie over there. That I don't know who would be the pick. I don't know how they. I think they do it with highest ranked BCS team, something like that. But they've only lost to Alabama, so they what are they, number 9, 8, number 8 in the BCS standings. So yeah, they got life. Anything can happen for them, sure. Yeah, we're very similar situations, really, both teams.
Coach will using Bruce be situational.
Yeah, Bruce is ready now. He practiced full go last night, and he should be a little bit more involved this week, definitely.
Steve, you talked about Arkansas's passing game the last couple of years that you've seen. Do you see any similarities in what Petrino's doing these past couple of years with what you guys did at Florida in the 90s?
Oh, it's a little different, but it's still drop back, throw out of the pocket, mostly stuff. A few little out of the pocket type things, but they throw it down the field. They turn it loose, and that's how you make a bunch of yards. So, but he's got his own style of things. Everybody has their own little different styles and so forth.
Steve, you guys scored 54 against Kentucky, scored 28 in 2 games since. Just what is it with the offense, just kind of not being able to score consistently?
We've only scored about 2 touchdowns, I think 5 of the 8 games this year. I think we knew that, didn't we? The only games we scored more than 2. Now, we scored at least 2 in every game. The only games, I think we got 3 against Navy, and then the first 2, Navy, Kentucky, and East Carolina. Were the Georgia game, we really only scored 2 touchdowns. Offensively, got a bunch of them defensively and special teams. So, yeah, we've not gone up and down the field. We're still 4th in the conference somehow in offense. So, you know, I guess you just say there's a bunch of teams that got a lot more problems than we have. We got a few problems, but everybody's got some problems, I guess.
Coach, for this season, you guys have been trailing in every single game against Arkansas. I mean, despite the fact you guys have been resilient this year so far, when you've been behind against Arkansas, do you feel it's more important to really get that fast start against such a really good offense?
Well, I hope so. You always hope so, but you can't control exactly everything that happens. Arkansas has been slow starting. They were behind, 17-0 to Ole Miss, and 21-7, I think, at Vandy, and came back and have won. So if you get ahead of them, that doesn't mean anything, because they're such a good passing team, and they believe they can come back and win the game. So it'll probably be a down-to-the-wire ball game, like most of ours are. So you just keep playing and hope to get ahead early and go from there, but you never know how it's going to work out.
Steve, your sacks are down. Your guys' sacks are down in the last 3 games. Is that a function of what other teams are doing to pay more attention to the ends, or not quite as good a play from the ends?
Yeah, we only had 1, I think, last game, and Coach Long said we did have good pressure, though, and I guess we had pretty good pressure. We forced him to throw it away 2 or 3 times when I think we were hanging on to him. Clowney seemed to be hanging on, but we need to get some sacks and consistent pressure on the quarterback. That's how you stop a good passing team, as we all know. So we gotta get our rushing shoes ready to go out there Saturday night.
Coach, on the long drive in the 3rd quarter, was that more of taking what the Tennessee defense gave you, or was there a certain strategy you used that you hope to use to make more long drives throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, a little bit of that. Their coach admitted afterwards that their plan was to play coverage or a lot of soft 2 deep, 3 deep, and just see if we were patient enough to run the ball, I guess. And obviously after the interception and getting the ball back on the 2-yard line, it was time to see if we could actually run the ball up and down the field. So fortunately we made a bunch of 3rd downs, and Connor ran for 2 or 3 of them himself. So it was a good, fortunate drive for us there. yeah, that just appeared the best way to go at them. Obviously, after the interception.
Is this the best that DJ has played since he's been here?
DJ,
Two big interceptions.
yeah, DJ has really come around these last 5 or 6 games. We struggled. A lot of guys struggled the first 2 games on defense, East Carolina and Georgia game. But fortunately, we got a bunch of turnovers, and we were. Now we've certainly tightened up and playing solid, good defense and very good red zone defense. Obviously last week, and DJ's been a big part of that. DJ has really played well these last. Well, we've played what 8 last. Well, the whole defense has really come together. Really, probably after the first 2 games.
Steve, when you look back at your passing game at Florida and compare it to here, what's been the biggest difference? Is it offensive lineman or the quarterback, or just what's been?
Oh, it all goes together. It all goes together. It all goes with all 11 out there, and trying to get some good plays on at the right time, and this, that, and the other. And really, the defenses are better than they used to be. They are better. We're not throwing the ball around very well, but a lot of other people are struggling even worse than we are. And so the defense, you got to tell them that the defenses are better in our league. And, I really believe they are, but we still should be throwing it around better. But we're not doing it all that well. But we're going to keep trying and see if we can make something happen.
Steve, a lot of quarterbacks take game manager as an insult, but Connor seems to embrace that part of the game. How well does he do those administrative things, and do you think being a coach's kid is one of the reasons that he does them so well?
Well, Connor's, yeah, he's a smart young man, and he's been around football his whole life. And I read the other day where he said he and his dad, they talk football a lot when they're talking, this, that, and the other. And he's such a good runner. Sometimes he may take off a little too quickly, but he's a good passer also. And we're trying to get him to throw a little bit more, but still run a bit, because he's a very good runner. But he's only played 3 full games now, and hopefully he's going to continue to get better as we go. He should.
You pointed out the defense has played better the last 6 games. What happened after the Georgia game? You and Coach Johnson sort of sit down with the defense and tell them they absolutely had to play better, and they responded, or what exactly happened?
We've always looked around a little bit what we could do better, and again, just eliminating maybe a lot of different coverages that we didn't really need to have. Maybe I think helped a little bit. That and the guys are just playing better, that, and but really simplifying, I think, has helped. I really do.
Steve, Alshon, a little frustrated that he didn't get some more balls maybe thrown his way against Tennessee. Was that the cover 2 that was doing that? And how do you get him more involved in the offense?
Yeah, we had a lot of them assigned towards him. In fact, the first one that hit the ground, Connor, he was firing at Alshon, but he got hit while he was throwing and it hit the ground there. I think that was the first third down of the game. But everybody's frustrated. Everybody on the receivers, they catch balls all week. Heck, they want to catch them in games. And we're getting a game, and we're getting sacked, and nothing good's happening. And we throw one out there, and their DB sort of outfights one of our little guys for the ball, and they almost scored on it. Fortunately, Cody Gibson kept hustling down there and got him down on about the 3-yard line. And 2 plays later, we picked off a pass. So we've had some good fortune, no question about that. But I tell you what, we're going to keep throwing, but we're still going to keep trying to win the game. The object is not to see how many passing yards you can get or rushing yards. The object is to try to win the game, so that's what we have to try to do. And Alshon knows that. He knows that, and he knows we were struggling, and we were running the ball pretty well. So the other guys, they like to get passes too, not just Alshon. We're not out here just to throw at Alshon. We're out here to try to win the game, and obviously throw at him is a big part of that.
Steve is a longtime SEC guy. How do you feel about the first ever regular season, 1 versus 2, involving league teams, and who do you like in that game?
Well, I like both of them. How's that? That is unusual. It's the first time ever 1 and 2. But yeah, I heard one of the announcers on TV say this is 2 power teams. This is no spread offenses and throw it 50 times a game teams. These are just 2 big, strong guys that are going to out-hit the other guy. Whoever out-hits the other guy will probably win the game. And so it'll be interesting to see what all happens. Alabama actually is throwing the ball, I think, a little bit better than a lot of people think. Last few games, we watched their tape with Arkansas a little bit, and they're throwing it around a little bit more than probably people realize. And LSU throws it around pretty good too. But they're still smash mouth type teams.
Anything else to cover?
All right, see you guys in Fayetteville.